everybody, Gina DeLuca here. All right, I am going to do a bit of an embellishment on this piece. This was a fluid art impressionist piece, but the horizon is not straight, and that really bothers me. And the way that the paints have blended, it looks like a wave there, but it needs a little bit of breakwater on the top, and there are some places, let's see, where it looks like there's a bit of that going on. So I'm just going to come in and embellish that. I'm going to work with kind of what the paint has going there. So you can see it kind of dips down here. So that might be a bigger breaking point. And then it looks like it comes back up. And oh, there's like a little bit there. So maybe you can have a little bit of breakwater there. But that's what's happening. And the paints we are using, I have Artist Loft in metallic white and metallic cobalt blue, and Arteza in pearl cactus green. Don't know how much of the blue and green I'll need. That's more, well, we'll see. It's been a long time since I used a paintbrush, so hopefully this goes well. Before we get started, have you seen the Fluid Art Inspiration cards? If you have, you can fast forward about a minute. But if you have not, what we have are 52 cards. There are 42 technique cards, and each technique card has an associated video here on YouTube. This is the picture from that particular video. This box here contains a tip for that particular technique, and here at the bottom you have the colors that were used in that particular painting. And then these two boxes can be used as the basis of a two-color palette, or you can build off of those two. And there are also 8 bonus color palette cards. Each color palette card has 5 color palettes. You can use all of the colors or just some of the colors, and when you mix and match the bonus color palette cards with the technique cards, you have more combinations than you could ever paint in a lifetime. These are available at my website, ginadeluca.net, and also at amazon.com. And if you get them from Amazon, please do leave feedback. It is very helpful to the sellers over there. All right, so I have this piece of, it's a Artist Loft canvas panel that I've had laying around. I covered it with some aluminum foil. This is what I was using for the gel gloss medium for applying the mica flakes. This was working really well, so I've misplaced my official palette, and I'm just going to be using that for now. I'm just going to put a bit of each of these paints All right, I have a little palette knife here that I will use for blending if necessary. I have a little filbert brush here. This is a number 4 filbert. Artist Loft, cheapo, but this should do the job for now anyway. So I'm just gonna kind of lay this out how I see it and just kind of give the idea here. So I'm going to wet my brush. I have a little napkin to dab off the excess. And I'm going to take some of this white and I'm actually just going to add some water to it because I'm just kind of laying out my lines. And I want to be able to take it off if necessary. So I'm just giving the idea of where it's going. Kind of just sketching out a little outline. Doing it this way Gives you a chance to take some mulligans. If you're not familiar with what that means, that's a golf term, and it means oops. And basically it's like, well, we're just gonna start that over. So this gives you the opportunity to change your mind. If you don't go in too heavy to begin with, if you are unsure, that is not a bad practice. Where is this going? Oh, it looks like it's a little bit right there. Okay. I think I'm good with that. This is a nice little focal point. I think actually I want to bring this down just a hair. Maybe not. See? Mulligan. Just wipe it right off. Thought it was a good idea? Well, maybe not. All right, so now I will come in with a bit more of this metallic white. And I'm just going to kind of tap it in. Kind of move your brush around a little bit so that the strokes don't look exactly the same. Like, you don't want it to be like, oh, look how the same they are. If you twist your brush a bit, it will give you some variation. This is not complicated stuff here. This is about some of the easiest stuff to get your feet wet. No pun intended. As far as embellishments go. You know, say you want to try this. Maybe you don't have much luck with the cloud pours, so you couldn't do a cloudy sky. You could still do a sky with just some white and whatever your background color is, and just kind of go straight across and stretch it out. It could be a cloudless sky, and then you just concentrate on the water. But give it a try. You may surprise yourself. this will probably take a couple of layers to, you know, really cover the spots that need to be covered, but it's the kind of thing that comes together pretty quickly. And you can have some splashes coming up. It doesn't have to be going right with the line of the water. In fact, it's better if it doesn't, because it's churning. It's doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And you can have it get really skinny in certain places. It's like, oh, it's just starting to break right there. And yes, I am using metallics. I like to use metallics for water. It just seems to give it a little bit of extra depth. But the metallics, like, this part looks very textured, like the water. I'm trying to get an angle so you can see it, but it looks textured, but it's not. It is just the metallics playing with each other the way that they do. And that is why I do love metallics for water. Gives the illusion of depth. That was a little extra splashy. That's okay. We're going to go with that. Happy little splash. When I was a kid, my grandfather used to watch a lot of Bob Ross. And I think I picked up quite a bit through osmosis. Just being around while Bob Ross was on. And I always thought that I couldn't paint. Told myself I couldn't paint. The handful of times I tried to paint, it didn't go well. I had zero instruction. I was just kind of trying to paint something from my imagination, which, if you're not used to painting, is a really hard thing to do. I've always been into drawing. I used to draw a lot when I was a kid. And it didn't automatically transfer to painting. Excuse me, I'm having allergy issues. But one day, I was going to hair school, cosmetology school, and I wound up with a cyst in my wrist and tennis elbow. And basically, I had to take medical leave from school. Eventually, I had to drop out because it never got better in time, and I also wound up with a herniated disc. But that's neither here nor there. The moral of that story is I could not play guitar, I couldn't hold a book, I couldn't write, but the one thing that I could do is hold a paintbrush. And I had there was a watercolor set in the basement, and I had never tried it before, and I got a picture of a pansy and I painted it, and lo and behold, I could paint. I had no idea. And so I started trying other things and posted on Facebook. And the next thing I knew, I had 8 commissions in a week. So, don't tell yourself you can't do something. Whether you tell yourself that you can or you can't, you're right. If you tell yourself that you can, you will keep doing it until you get it. But if you tell yourself you can't do it, you won't even try. And you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And another thing is you can't expect to get good at something unless you are willing to be bad at it first, right? So if you give yourself permission to not be perfect, that your first painting, your first 10 paintings, your first 100 paintings, maybe you're not completely happy with them. That's okay, but you are learning something every single time you sit in front of a canvas. You learn something, and it's never wasted time. It's never wasted canvas, and it's never wasted paint. And we pouring artists probably have a great deal of canvases sitting around that didn't come out quite the way we were hoping. And we'd love to embellish them. But it does take a little bit of gumption to be willing to possibly mess up. And I ask you this: if you mess up a painting, a poor painting that you weren't going to do anything with anyway, what have you lost? Nothing. You gained experience, possibly rescued a painting. And even if you didn't, you still learned something. Okay, it's good to step back every once in a while and kind of look at what's going on. Do you see spots that you're not digging? You don't like the cut of its jib? Like this here, I didn't quite like the way that was smoothing out. Maybe I want this to go up a little more here. And remember, these are splashes. They're not supposed to look perfect. They're not supposed to be uniform. You just keep tapping in. Some of them go a little astray. It's okay. They're splashes now. So for anyone who's interested, I am teaching a class in July in West Virginia. Part of it will be pouring and part of it will be brushwork. And it happens at a college called Davis and Elkins College. It's in Elkins, West Virginia. And I've gone there as a student many times for music because it is happening at the same time as something called Blues Week. And I would go and take classes. I would take guitar and vocal, and I would take in harmonica and songwriting and all kinds of stuff. And they asked me to teach an art class, which I thought was pretty cool. And there are only 10 spots in the class. I think there are a couple spots left. If that's something you might be interested in. It is like a week-long thing, and there'd be art during the day and lots of music throughout the evening, people jamming all over the place, concerts, dances, good stuff. So if you would be interested in that, Augusta Heritage Center is the thing you would look up. I will put a link in the description box if you are interested. It is absolutely beautiful there. The views are stunning. And it's kind of one of my favorite places because it is gosh darn pretty there. And I actually play a gig on the last day, on that Friday. It starts on Sunday, ends on Friday, or you get there on Sunday, leave on Saturday. So the classes start on Monday. But that Friday, I have a gig at a restaurant there called El Gran Sabor. Their food is amazing. And that's always fun. May not be needing those blue and green metallics after all. I guess I could have waited to put those out. So this part here I'm seeing, it's like very splashy, very frothy. I'm gonna let those splashes come up a little bit. This is an extra turbulent area. I think I want to put a little bit of more splashy action in a couple of areas, just to give it a bit more oomph. Definitely feeling better about this now that Crooked Horizon is no longer making me crazy. So yay for that. Also in the news category, I am going to be starting a Patreon. I'm going to be doing more brushwork. Not everybody who is subscribed to my channel wants to see full-length real-time videos of brushwork. And so I'm going to make that available on Patreon, but also I will be having Zoom Q&As. So if you have questions, it's really hard for me to answer questions in chats during the premieres. I type too slowly, and by the time I finally answer and fix all of the auto incorrect stuff and all of that, like 5 more questions have popped up. And so there's going to be Zoom Q&As and Zoom happy hour / social time, so we can actually kind of get to know each other a little bit, put a face and a voice to the name. And I will be doing some live painting on there, like some live stream stuff. There will be some exclusive content that won't be going up on the YouTube. You know, the YouTube algorithm thing is absolutely brutal, and you kind of have to just put up what you know your people want. And I want to stretch my wings, but I don't want to ruin this channel that I've put so much work into. And I just feel like having a Patreon will help me connect to people a bit more and offer more content that would probably not wind up in the algorithms here on YouTube. So if that's something you would be interested in, please say a little something in the comment. And if there's something that you would like to see on my Patreon channel, a feature that you would like to have as a patron, please do let me know what that is, because I want to make this a good experience for everyone. I want to make it feel like it's worth your while to be a patron. You know, and as you kind of get to the edges there of where your splashes are, you want to soften that up a little bit. You don't want hard edges because it's splashy. And we are almost done. That's how fast it is to embellish a painting. That's a total lie in fabrication, but that's how fast it is to do this. This kind of thing. Add a little frothiness to your waves. Okay. I think it needs a little softening up here. It's good to step back every once in a while and see it from afar. You don't want a completely myopic view of what's happening on your painting. I need a bit more splashy action. edges just a bit too hard here. Soften up any hard edges. All right. I think that's going to do it for me. I'm no longer angry at this painting. Big part of painting is knowing when to walk away. That is something that I do struggle with myself. I will keep working a piece until the end of time if I don't make myself walk away. One of the reasons I like doing fluid art impressionist pieces, you only have an hour and a half, 2 hours to work. So you need to just get it done and get out. All right, that's it. Stick a fork in her. Let's clean off my brush, and I'll bring you in for a close-up. Back in a few. Okay, here it is. Much, much better. Much happier with this piece now. You can see like the dark part of it kind of creates the rising part of the wave. Yep. Much happier with this piece. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed. Please do like, share, and subscribe and all that good stuff. Do check out the description box below for links to my PayPal tip jar if you feel so inclined. All of my affiliate links for Deco Art, which is how that beauty was made. That is made with the satin enamel pure white mixed with other colors. Cloud pour. And also now I'm a color art affiliate and Blick and Arteza and Amazon. So if you're purchasing anything from those companies from their website, please click the links in the description box. Use the codes that are provided if there's a code. And I will receive a small commission at no additional cost to you. There is the link to my website, GinaDeLuca.net, where you can find my art and music and fluid art inspiration cards for sale. And last but not least, you will find the link to our Facebook group, Go Make Some Art. Join us there, post your masterpieces, ask your questions, get some inspiration. And again, if there is something in particular that you would like to see on the Patreon, if there's something that would be, enticing to get you to click join, please do let me know what that is. I aim to please. And that is it for me for today. I hope y'all have a beautiful day. Now go make some art.